Okay, Justin, I have a really strong belief that how like how you treat yourself, your body, your personal life is directly reflected in your work. So,
Sure.
what are some things that you do personally to keep yourself grounded so that you can keep showing up for your clients?
That's a that's a very good question. It depends on the day, but
Is it a margarita or is it a
literally, right? Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
a Rambler or margarita or going
Or
to
workout.
yeah, I think exactly
Let's
right.
say workout.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting you say that. A couple of years ago, I started doing a gratitude list. So I start my morning out every day. I write three things I'm grateful for,
Yep.
which has been really interesting. Like today was a challenging morning, and I had to kind of like search through in my mind, but I pulled three out, and it actually made me feel good. And then one statement of just a personal affirmation, and it kind of changes. A lot of time, mine is like, you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. Just because sometimes we get so much caught up, right, what's in our face, literally, that we forget everything that's like behind us. Exercise. I mean, stress is such a huge part of this job, and it's so addictive to get caught up in the high RPMs of this. That like that's how we get burnt out. And I've struggled with that in the past. Like I had to take 3-4 months off a couple of years ago because I just could not do any business. So exercise, sleep, being grateful, again, that's a huge thing.
When you took that time off, did you not have a morning routine?
I did not have a morning routine. No.
Yeah. I had a few years ago, actually, a health event. I woke up with back spasms in the middle of the night. I had to go to the hospital, and it was literally due to stress.
Yeah.
And so that was like at the tail end of COVID when we were working a bazillion hours. And I wasn't exercising. I wasn't eating right. I was drinking way too much. And the minute I got into a regular routine, I shouldn't say the minute, it probably took, 8 to 12 weeks for me to really be able to tell the difference. But I will say the minute I started committing to myself and taking care of myself, I was able to show up so much better for my clients.
So much better.
And my business direct, if like you could actually go back and look at my last 3 years of numbers of when I started that routine, and you will see a direct reflection in my business. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true. I think, and with that, so much of it's environmental. So for example, I mean, we're doing a huge remodel in our house right now. We've moved into a very small Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I don't have my office anymore. And I'm very ADD, and I need to have like my dry erase boards and my desk set up just the way and like my tchotchkes on the wall and have my vibe going. And I don't have that. And so I've really been struggling. And then also too, coming off of back surgery last year. So it's been a real struggle to try to stay organized and focused. But I'm grateful but then also that I've set up these, my daily non-negotiables. So each day I have a different non-negotiable.
So what are your non-negotiables?
So my non-negotiables, number one is gratitude. Number one is some sort of exercise, whether it's going to the gym.
That would be number 2.
That's number 2. Yeah. Exactly. So the gym would be number 2. Walking the dogs, spending some time with them is those, doing something personal. And then also making sure, honestly, it kind of depends on the day. Those are the 3.
Those are the 3. Yeah. That's how you start your day.
That's how I start my day.
And you know what I think is so interesting about that? Like just walking your dogs, a lot of people would be like, it's just walking your dog. But like if that's a ritual that you put into place, like that's literally training your brain or setting your brain to be in a certain state that preps you to then have focus and intention with the rest of your day.
Right. And I'm not one of those people, like, I treat my dogs as my kids. You understand. There are 4-legged children, and they're sometimes better than human kids, depending on everyone's mood. But I, whether it's in the morning or I come home in the afternoon, they look forward to that. And I don't wear my headphones. I interact with them the whole time. I, tell them I love them. We give them feedback. And I just, it's a very interactive, like it's going out with the kids for a walk around the neighborhood. They're excited. It helps me really clear my mind, which especially in the middle of the afternoon, I find is really helpful.
So if you were going to give a piece of advice to a brand new agent, would this be top of the list of how to structure your day? Because I think that's the struggle with anyone who's self-employed is like how to structure your day, right? Because you don't have to clock in and out. You can do whatever you want aside from the meetings that you've already booked.
Right.
What would be that?
It would be exactly that. It's like you need to have a routine. And that's where, exactly. And the nice thing is that there are so many experienced agents that are more than willing to help out, especially at our brokerage, where, like, get on a team, honestly, and learn exactly what an effective morning routine is for you, whether it's 2 or 3 things that you need to do before you start your business to help get you in the right, get you in the game mindset. Yeah, no, that's totally what it is. It's like, you got to figure out how to run the business, and that calls organization.